Hi everyone, we have prepared latest market updates for July 4th, 2022. 3 Arrow Capital filed for bankruptcy. 3 Arrow Capital 3AC, a leading crypto hedge fund, filed for Chapter 15 bankruptcy in the United States to prevent creditors from seizing its assets in the country days after its liquidation in the British Virgin Islands began. Singapore-based 3AC is among the high-profile investors whose large capitals have fallen into liquidation, one of the biggest victims of the latest crypto winter. Last week, a British Virgin Islands court ordered 3AC's capital liquidation after the company failed to repay a $670 million loan from cryptocurrency broker Voyager Digital. As a result, all transactions, deposits, and withdrawals were stopped. However, 3AC is considering hiring business consulting firm Teneo to oversee the process. The fund, co-funded by former Credit Suisse traders Zhu Su and Kyle Davis, was managing about $10 billion in assets back in March, and in April it was down to $3 billion, according to Nansen, a blockchain analyst firm. 3AC was hit hard by the collapse of the algorithmic stablecoin Terra USD and its sister token Luna, where it lost about $200 million in investments. Tesla reduced deliveries in the second quarter. American electric car maker Tesla reduced deliveries in the second quarter by 18% compared to the previous 3 months to 254,695, according to the company's press release. That included Model S and Model X deliveries to 16,162 and Model 3 and Model Y deliveries of 238,533. Negative factors were continuing problems in global supply chains and the suspension of the company's operations in China due to the COVID-19 pandemic. During the last quarter, Tesla released 258,580 cars. In this case, the report notes that production in June reached a monthly high in the history of the company. Financial statements for the first quarter will be published by Tesla on July the 20th. Shares of the car maker since the beginning of the year fell by 35.5%, while the stock index Nasdaq Composite lost about 29%. Oil recovers losses amid fears of tight supply. Oil prices rebounded on Monday as concerns over tight supply amid OPEC production cuts, unrest in Libya, and sanctions against Russia outweighed fears of a global recession. An additional blow to supply was the Norwegian oil and gas workers' strike planned for this week, which could cut the country's oil and condensate output by 130,000 barrels a day. Brent crude futures for September rose 0.5% to $112.18 a barrel after falling more than $1 in early trading. West Texas Intermediate WTI crude futures for August delivery rose 0.4% to $108.87 a barrel after falling $1 earlier. Oil production by the 10 members of the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, fell 100,000 barrels a day to 28.52 million barrels per day in June, below their promised increase of about 275,000 barrels per day, the service showed. Production declines in Nigeria and Libya have offset increases by Saudi Arabia and other major producers, while Libya faces further supply disruptions from escalating political unrest, making the likelihood of OPEC meeting recently increased production quotas even more unlikely, ANZ research analysts said in a note. More specifically, exports from Libya fell to 365,000 to 409,000 barrels per day, down about 865,000 barrels per day from normal levels, the National Oil Corporation reported last week.